cómo WFM consigue una entrevista. Muy simple. Únicamente vamos a donde el artista se encuentra y lo entrevistamos. Así es como WFM te ha dado a conocer el lado verdadero y a veces imperfecto de las apariencias inmaculadas. Ahora te ofrece la oportunidad única y extraordinaria de conocer de cerca a quien nunca te imaginaste.
Hi, this is Robert Smith from The Cure. You're listening to WFM 96.9 Radio.
Charo Fernández fue enviada a Londres para que ustedes y nosotros charláramos un momento con Robert Smith.
You must go to Mexico, Robert.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good fun.
Para variar, diariamente sucede un milagro en WFM y sucede que Robert Smith de The Cure habla con nosotros.
My one ambition in life was not to have to get up in the morning. That's seriously my one ambition. And I used to, when we started the group, I used to think, well, if we could sell enough records, I wouldn't have to get up in the morning because no one could tell me to.
Sabemos que muchos de ustedes mueren por escucharnos. Por eso mismo este miércoles Robert Smith de The Cure habla a través de WFM.
What did I say? ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Hola.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo te va?
¿Cómo te va? What's that?
Escuchen una entrevista exclusiva realizada por WFM con Robert Smith de The Cure. La cara verdadera de una imagen virtual en condiciones insólitas.
Hola, soy Robert Smith from The Cure. Estás escuchando WFM 96.9 México.
Ese es Robert Smith. Esto es en WFM y todo sucederá este miércoles a las 8:30 de la noche. Lo último que se sabrá sobre Robert Smith de The Cure a nivel mundial se sabrá este miércoles en WFM.
Did you just arrive today?
¿Acabas de llegar hoy? ¿Cómo eres tú? ¿Eres arrogante? ¿Cómo eres?
I suppose I am, but I don't tell anyone about it. I think anyone that's in a group has to believe that what they're doing is good. I can understand that, but I find a certain attitude that somehow people who aren't in a group are inferior. That really infuriates me. And someone like George Michael gives that impression that he thinks because he's doing something, he's somehow more important than anyone else. And I don't think it's true. I mean, I know it's not true because I'm a singer in a group as well, and I know it's, a lot of it's stupid. But he's probably all right.
Yes.
I've only met him once. I didn't like him. He sort of. I don't like people who are like pop stars, who act like pop stars.
Yes.
Bueno, supongo que lo soy, pero no se lo digo a nadie. Pienso que alguien consolidado tiene que creer que lo que hace es bueno. Pero me encuentro ciertas actitudes en gente que no pertenecen a un grupo y que es inferior, que no me parecen. Eso es lo que sucede con George Michael. Cree que porque está haciendo algo es más importante, pero no es así. Tal vez está bien, lo conocí una vez y no me cayó bien. En realidad, no me gustan realmente los que se sienten superestrellas. Pero ahora se arrepiente de su imagen, de esa sexualidad.
But I can't understand. I've never ever met a girl that would want to sleep with George Michael. I really haven't. Says I must meet the wrong kinds of girls.
Bueno, no sé, pero yo jamás he conocido a una mujer que se quiera acostar con George Michael. Bueno, esta es la primera vez que un medio de comunicación mexicano tiene la oportunidad de entrevistar a Robert Smith de The Cure. Tienes muchos fanáticos en México, como te lo he dicho antes. La gente realmente actúa como tú, baila como tú, se viste como tú. En realidad deben ir allá.
We will definitely. I promise you it will go.
Definitivamente iremos, eso te lo prometo. Me dijiste que hablabas un poco de español.
No, because we were given the choice between Spanish and French, and I chose French when I was at school, and so I learnt French. But I wish that I had learnt Spanish, because it's a more popular language than French. French is pretty useless, really. Only French people speak it. But Spanish is. I really regretted it when we went to South America a couple of years ago. I really regretted not being able to speak Spanish because it was very difficult communicate with anyone in Brazil if you couldn't speak any Spanish. So I tried to. It's like with any language. If you're around people who speak it, you can begin to pick up certain words, and you can understand it. You don't necessarily even have to speak it to be able to understand a language. But it seems quite an easy language, Spanish. The basics of it are quite easy.
Could you tell me something in Spanish?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah,
no, you write it down and I'll read it.
No. Well, okay.
What did I say? ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Hola.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo te va?
¿Cómo te va? What's that?
How do you doing? Hola, México.
Hola, México. I know what that means. It's pretty obvious.
Okay.
No lo hago y se me dio a escoger entre el español y el francés cuando estaba en la escuela y escogí el francés. Me hubiera gustado aprender español ya que es un lenguaje más popular. El francés casi no se ocupa, solo lo hablan los franceses. Me arrepiento de no saber español. Cuando fuimos a Sudamérica hace un par de años, nos fue difícil comunicarnos en Brasil. Eso es lo que pasa con los idiomas. No tienes que hablarlo muchas veces para entenderlo. Las bases del español parecen ser muy fáciles. Bueno, tenemos que decirte que cuando esta entrevista se transmita, muchísima gente la va a escuchar. Primero que nada, nos gustaría saber qué fue lo que motivó a The Cure a realizar el álbum Mix Up.
Well, a lot of our fans kept asking us for old 12-inch mixes, like old singles, which unfortunately Polydor tend to delete almost as soon as they come out. I don't know why. So it's very difficult to get hold of them. I mean, it's the same with any group. I mean, it's very difficult to get hold of old singles, old 12-inch singles. So we decided to put them all onto one album and to make it generally available. But once we'd started, we realised that we could do a lot more with that idea. And not just bring out old songs, but also have new people remixing old songs and put new songs on it. Generally just like a kind of mixed up idea. That's why it's called Mixed Up.
Mucha gente, muchos de nuestros fanáticos nos pedían sencillos viejos que desafortunadamente Polydor no emitía, no sé por qué, y decidimos ponerlos todos en un solo disco. Pero al estarlo haciendo vimos que podíamos sacar más jugo de esos sencillos, como gente nueva mezclando esas viejas canciones, y todo en general fue una idea enredada, y fue por ello que el disco se llamó Mixed Up. ¿Tú piensas que este disco fue un paso adelante para el grupo?
Not really, no. It wasn't intended to be a step forward. It was just one of those records that a few years ago we brought out an album called Standing on the Beach, which was like all our singles and B-sides up to that point. Mixed Up's just like in that sort of vein. It's just a record that it's really, if you drink a lot on Saturday night, you listen to Mixed Up. It's not really one of our records that, no, it hasn't got any depth to it really. But I think it's a really good record. I mean, there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of hype in the media about the record before it came out, about saying that we were like, we were doing it for the wrong reasons and stuff, although no one had asked us what our reasons were. And a lot of our fans were very nervous about what it would be like. But we've since spoken to people who, like, you know, very strong Cure fans, and they really like it. Because our fans aren't necessarily just all dressed in black and very doomy. And, I mean, they do like their pop stuff as well. So, but it's just really a dance record. It's not us taking a step forward or anywhere really. If anything, it's just like a small step sideways.
No, en realidad no. No se hizo para hacer un paso adelante. Es uno de esos discos como Standing on a Beach, con nuestros primeros sencillos y la 2B. Es un disco que no tiene profundidad. Se especuló mucho en los medios antes de que saliera. Se dijo que lo hacíamos por razones equivocadas, eso sin saber cuáles eran. Nuestros admiradores estaban muy nerviosos por saber cómo iba a ser, pero hablamos con los verdaderos fans del grupo y les gustó. Nuestros admiradores no están siempre vestidos de negro, también les gusta lo pop. Se trata de un disco bailable y no de nosotros avanzando hacia adelante. Bueno, hoy en día, ¿qué tan diferente es el ambiente musical en Londres comparado cuando The Cure era un grupo más del underground británico?
It's difficult to know really because we don't go out a lot in London anymore. I don't know, I think things stay relatively the same at that sort of low level. I think a lot of the movements are created by the media just for something to write about. And people are still like in groups playing in clubs in London the same as when we played in a club yesterday night. So nothing's really changed. But I don't know, I mean, it seems to be a lot more, obviously it's a lot more dance orientated at the moment, what's happening in London. But the problem is that when a movement is created or when a movement starts and the record companies are signing particular types of group, a lot of people adapt and they join groups or they form groups that play that kind of music because they want to be signed by a record company. So it creates a kind of false environment. And a lot of the more interesting groups, I think, that are playing not just in London but around the country, aren't really dance orientated. They're more interested in that. So I don't know. I always tend to like things which aren't fashionable, I suppose. Not on purpose, but I mean, well, some of the dance groups are quite. I mean, like the Happy Mondays, I think are really, really good.
Yes, I like them.
They're here in this hotel.
Yeah, really.
They're in the bar. Yeah.
Are they going to play?
They're playing tomorrow. Yeah, at Wembley. I know they're playing tonight. That's right. I'm going to see them. I've got a hangover.
Es difícil de saber porque ya no salimos mucho en Londres. Las cosas relativamente a ese nivel se mantienen igual. Pienso que los movimientos para los medios son muy buenos, pero la gente que toca en los clubes, nosotros tocamos en un club anoche, nada ha cambiado. No sé, creo que la música está más orientada hacia el baile. El problema es que cuando un movimiento se crea y una compañía disquera le da un contrato a un grupo que toque ese tipo de música, después existen adeptos a él y nacen más grupos con la intención de que esa compañía los contrate. Es un ambiente muy loco y los grupos más interesantes que están tocando no solo en Londres, sino en todo el país, no están orientados hacia el baile, son más que eso. No sé, hay muy buena música bailable como Happy Mondays, creo que son muy buenos. Están en este hotel, en el bar. ¿Van a tocar hoy? Sí, van a tocar en Wembley y yo iré a verlos. Desde Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, ¿qué tanto afectó la popularidad y la fama del grupo, la escritura de las letras o su desarrollo musical?
I don't think. I mean, our fame is only it's not on a very big scale. I think it's a very manageable kind of fame. We're very well known and we sell a lot of records, but we're not really famous. We're strange in that.
Yes, you are.
I don't know. It doesn't really affect me, and I don't really encounter it very often. Like if I go out in London, I can go shopping in London, and people don't come running up to me. So I don't know if they're scared of me or if probably they just don't know who I am. But it doesn't really have an effect on what the group does, because the words, the lyrics are generally about things which go beyond the notions of fame. I haven't really written a song about being in a group, and I hope I never will. It's a bit of a boring subject, really. When the lyrics are about things that happen, that like. They aspire to be universal. They're about things that affect everyone. Doesn't matter what your situation, what your position. So I don't really think that fame has any kind of impact on the group. Selling records has an effect on the group because it allows you to retain control if you want it. I mean, ever since our second album, we've paid for our own, for making our own records so that we can't be dictated to by anyone. So that side of it buys you freedom, basically, to do what you want. But the fame thing, I've never really enjoyed. I don't think I ever will. I feel very uncomfortable about people quite often coming up to me, but I don't know. I still think it's really weird. I mean, it's very nice sometimes. People sort of like will come up to you and they're nice to you and they smile and they say, I don't really like the record. But it can also happen that they can't say, I hate the record and they're really horrible.
Nuestra fama no está en una escala muy alta, es una fama muy manejable. Se nos conoce bien y vendemos muchos discos, pero no somos en realidad famosos. No nos afecta, no se contrapone. Si estoy en Londres y voy de compras, la gente no se avienta hacia mí. Tal vez los espanto o no saben quién soy. No tiene un efecto directo en lo que el grupo hace, porque las letras van más allá de lo que es la fama. Nunca he escrito una canción que hable acerca de mi estancia en el grupo, y espero no hacerlo nunca, sería muy aburrido. Las letras deben de inspirar algo universal. Deben de hablar acerca de cosas que afecten a toda la gente, sin importar la situación o la posición. Ni la fama ni el vender discos han afectado al grupo. Tú puedes retener el control si así lo quieres. Desde nuestro segundo disco hemos pagado por hacer lo que sentimos, sin dejar que nadie nos dicte nada. Y eso te compra libertad para hacer lo que quieras. La fama es algo que nunca he gozado y con la que no me siento a gusto, como cuando la gente se aproxima a mí, pero depende. Está bien cuando la gente se aproxima a ti y te dice lo que siente acerca de tus discos, pero igual se puede acercar y decir que tu disco es horrible.
Standing on the beach with a gun in my hand, staring at the sea, staring at the sand, staring down the barrel at the Arab on the ground. The sea is open mouth, but I hear no sound. I'm alive. I'm dead.
¿Qué es lo que The Cure opina acerca del movimiento dark de principios de los 80s? ¿Piensan ustedes que fueron el grupo más exitoso de aquel entonces?
It's always been difficult to understand what's called the darks, because it only really exists in certain countries. I mean, it exists, I suppose, in England. It's called goths, but a lot of it, I can really appreciate why people do it. I mean, it's almost like being in a group in a sense. It's a bit like being part of a gang. I mean, with Cure fans in England, who obviously I know more about them than anywhere else, they dress a certain way. Some of them dress a certain way so they can recognise each other. If they're out and they see someone looking a certain way, they know they can go and talk to them because they're going to be friendly towards them. So in that sense, it's a kind of uniform in a strange way. But it's a uniform that has an attitude that goes with it, and I suppose that's the most important thing, the attitude. The clothes are only like secondary. I can empathise with the dark movement, but I think that quite often it's taken too seriously. I think the people involved take it too seriously, and that they don't allow. I can't understand any state of mind that doesn't allow for any possibility. That's it. And so, I mean, if I like a certain type of music and I shouldn't, it seems to me a bit stupid. Do you understand it? I feel that I can like anything. I can read anything or go and see any group and wear what. I mean, I'm wearing pink today. It's like I don't feel that I have to conform to any particular thing. And I think sometimes that the people involved in movements of any kind take themselves too seriously because they have to conform. They think they're not conforming to society, but in fact they conform to their own society. So, but by the same token, it's nice to be involved in a movement with people of a like mind. So I mean, there are, as with anything, there's a plus side to it and a minus side. But they're all right. I mean, they're quite fun. Within the group, we laugh quite often at the fact that we're supposed to be a dark group. Because at times we act like complete idiots. I mean, we're not. People think we're really serious all the time, but we're not at all.
Okay. En realidad es difícil entender lo que son los darks, porque no en todos los países los hay. En Inglaterra se les conoce como goths, y es como ser parte del grupo. Muchos de los fanáticos del grupo en Inglaterra se visten de un modo determinado y se reconocen entre ellos. Son una pandilla que se lleva bien entre sí. Es como un uniforme que va acompañado de una actitud. Supongo que lo mejor es la actitud. Las ropas son secundarias. Yo puedo empatizar con el movimiento dark, pero creo que frecuentemente los envueltos en él lo llevan muy lejos y no puedo entender un modo de pensar que no permita ninguna posibilidad. Si a mí me gusta un cierto tipo de música y no me debe de gustar, es estúpido. Yo creo que puedo leer lo que sea y ver a cualquier grupo. Hoy estoy, por ejemplo, vestido de rosa. En ocasiones la gente que está inmersa en un movimiento toma las cosas muy en serio porque no están conformes con la sociedad, sino con la suya propia. Es bueno estar envuelto en algo. Cuando comenzamos en el grupo, amábamos a cualquier agrupación dark. Éramos unos idiotas entonces. Tomábamos las cosas muy en serio. Bueno, ¿cuáles han sido sus mayores influencias?
Good grief. There's too many, really are. I mean, the influences on what the group produces are everything. I mean, it's everything. It comes from everything, really. Everything that I experience with the group.
Muchas. Las influencias dependen de lo que el grupo produce. Todo viene de todo lo hemos experimentado. ¿Algún género en particular? Musical, pop, soul, rhythm and blues?
Really, even when we started, I don't think any music had a particular influence. I think possibly around the time when Joy Division was still playing music, they had an impact on me personally because I felt that what they were trying to achieve was very admirable. But I don't think since then there's really been any one particular type of music which has affected what we do, because we try and do things that are different, so it would be pretty pointless to be too heavily influenced by certain things. From time to time we steal things, like when we did the Kiss Me album, and songs like Hot 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 we were pretending to be Chic. Remember that pop group, Chic?
Yes, that's right, Chic.
Yeah.
Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards.
So we went into the studio and we pretended to be Chic for one night, and then when we did Why Can't I Be You, we pretended to be someone else. I can't remember who it was, but that was Stone or someone. So we do it, but we do it for fun. We don't like seriously sit down and think like who we influenced by. But if I hear music and it really moves me, it doesn't move me to write something similar or to be in a group that's similar. I still enjoy listening to music and listening to and watching groups as a normal person.
No, ni siquiera cuando comenzamos hubo una influencia en particular. Pienso que posiblemente cuando Joy Division todavía tocaba, hubo un tipo de impacto personal en mí. Porque lo que querían conseguir era muy admirable. Pero no creo que un tipo de música en particular nos haya afectado, ya que intentamos hacer las cosas diferentes. Cuando hicimos el disco de Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me en Hot Hot Hot, quisimos imitar al grupo Chic por una noche. Y cuando grabamos Why Can I Be You también pretendíamos ser alguien más. Y lo hicimos por diversión. Y aún así, si escucho música que en realidad me llegue, no escribo acerca de ella. No hago nada similar. Como persona normal me sigue entusiasmando ver a los grupos. ¿Qué tipo de música?
I think the best album of last year was by Ride, a new group called Ride, who they're playing a concert with us tomorrow at Wembley. Are you going to that? Are you going to the thing at Wembley?
Yes, of course.
Well, they're the very first group on there, and at 6 o'clock you should see them. They're absolutely brilliant.
What kind of music is it?
I don't know, really. I've always found it very difficult to describe music. I suppose it's kind of dancey, but it's a bit more sort of atmospheric, and they look really good, and they're young, so they've got everything going for them, and they seem quite intelligent from their interviews. But I just really enjoyed their album. It will be the first time that I've seen them tomorrow. But I don't think it will move me to be inspired. I should probably just get drunk and enjoy it.
That's right.
Creo que el mejor disco del año pasado lo sacó el grupo Reed. Ellos estarán en concierto mañana en Wembley con nosotros. Pero yo le pregunto, ¿qué tipo de música es? Y me dice, no lo sé, es un poco bailable y algo atmosférica. Se ven bien, son jóvenes y parecen ser muy inteligentes. Me gustó mucho su disco y los veré mañana por primera vez. No creo que me impacte tanto como para inspirarme. Más bien me pondré borracho y los escucharé. ¿Qué es lo que Robert Smith opina acerca de Stephen Morrissey como artista y como lírico?
Unfortunately, I don't like him at all.
No.
No. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that I hate him. Really, no, I don't hate anyone. No, I've never liked anything the Smiths ever did, and I've never liked anything Morrissey's ever written. I think he's too miserable. He's got no sense of humour, and what sense of humour he's got is so pretty. He's one of those people I can imagine having to rearrange something on a table so that it's in the right position. Yes. I don't like people like that.
Yes. Would you say that?
And also, he doesn't like me, so I don't see why I should like
Desafortunadamente no me gusta nada. De hecho, creo que lo odio. Bueno, no, yo no odio a nadie. De hecho, nunca me gustó lo que hicieron los Smiths, ni nada de lo que ha escrito Morrissey. Creo que es muy miserable y sin sentido del humor. Se me hace una persona muy metódica que quiere todo en su lugar. Y creo que si le preguntas a él, también te dirá que no le caigo bien yo. ¿Podrías decir que en el ámbito artístico los europeos están adelante de los latinoamericanos? Si es que has escuchado algo del grupo, de algún grupo más bien de Brasil, Argentina o México.
Well, when we went to Brazil and Argentina, we were given cassette tapes of groups, but unfortunately all the tapes, without exception, that were given to us, the groups were trying to sound like European groups,
yes,
or particularly like American groups.
Yeah, that's right.
Which seems to me pretty stupid. And if I lived in Brazil, I'd want to play Brazilian music. But I suppose that there's not really a market for a big market for for anything other than Western pop music in the West. So I don't know. I haven't really heard. Is there such a thing as Mexican pop music? I mean, when you go into like Mexican restaurants in California, you hear sort of Mexican music, but you never really know if it's real Mexican music or not. The usual things like tacos and burritos.
Burrito. Do you like them?
I love Mexican food. It's one of my favourite foods. I love we have Mexican nights at my house sometimes.
Really?
With the group, and we have big jugs of tequila and lime and crushed ice.
Yeah, you must go to Mexico, Robert.
Yeah, I think it would be really good fun. I'd probably be laying on my back most of the time though.
Yeah.
Because I really like tequila and lime.
Cuando fuimos a Brasil y Argentina, nos regalaron varios cassettes con grabaciones de los grupos. Pero desafortunadamente todas las cintas, sin excepción alguna, los grupos pretendían sonar como grupos europeos o norteamericanos. Me pareció algo estúpido, ya que si estás en Brasil, debes de tocar música brasileña. Pero supongo que no hay un mercado grande para otra cosa que no sea la música pop occidental. Me gustaría saber si hay música pop en México. Cuando vas a los restaurantes en California escuchas música mexicana y no sabes si en realidad es mexicana. Le pregunto yo, ¿qué comes? Y me dice, diferentes cosas, tacos, burritas. Le digo, ¿te gustan? Sí, la comida mexicana es una de mis favoritas. A veces en casa con el grupo organizamos noches mexicanas y tomamos tequila. En verdad tienes que ir a México, le digo yo. Sí, será muy divertido. ¿Ha sido difícil llegar al lugar en el que se encuentran ahora?
When we started, like when I was still at school, I didn't. My ambition was never to be in a group that was successful. I never really thought about things like that. It was always just so that my one ambition in life was not to have to get up in the morning. That's seriously my one ambition. And I used to, when we started the group, I used to think, well, if we could sell enough records, I wouldn't have to get up in the morning because no one could tell me to. And since then, my ambitions have changed. They've become a bit more, extravagant. And I want to be in a group that actually means something and that makes good music and that communicates with people. But it's never been difficult because I've always done exactly what I wanted to do. I never really thought if it's going to work. Because given the choice between being successful and having to compromise, or not having to compromise and being unsuccessful, I would choose being unsuccessful. I mean, because life's too short to worry about being successful. Because ultimately it doesn't mean anything at all. I mean, I've had an enormous amount of fun, and I've experienced a lot being in the Cure, but it hasn't been dependent on success, so it hasn't been difficult. And I'm constantly surprised at how popular we are. I really am. I'm pleased. But like if we go into the studio next week and I want to record 15 minutes of I don't know, bird song with us going ooh, over the top, we'll do that. We don't sort of think, oh, maybe the audience won't like it. It's and we've always had that attitude, so it could never be hard because we've done things that we enjoy, and we've been lucky that other people like it. Well, not lucky because a lot of it's been good.
Cuando estaba en la escuela, mi ambición no era estar en un grupo. Nunca pensé nada parecido. Mi mayor ambición en la vida ha sido siempre no tener que levantarme en las mañanas. En serio. Y cuando comenzamos con el grupo, al empezar a vender discos, pensé que si vendíamos muchos discos, no tendría que levantarme en la mañana. Y de ahí empezaron las ambiciones y el comunicarse con la gente. Nunca ha sido difícil y siempre he hecho exactamente lo que he querido. Nunca me he puesto a pensar en si algo va a pasar. La vida es muy corta para que uno se preocupe por lo que va a pasar. A final de cuentas, no significa nada. Me he divertido mucho y he tenido mucha experiencia al estar en The Cure, pero eso no ha dependido del éxito. Así que no ha sido diferente. Constantemente me sorprendo de lo populares que somos y estoy complacido. Si entramos al estudio la semana entrante y quiero grabar 15 minutos del canto de un pájaro con nuestros coros, lo hago. Y siempre hemos tenido esa actitud. Nunca ha sido difícil porque hacemos lo que queremos. Hemos tenido suerte. ¿Cuándo grabarán su nuevo álbum? El siguiente álbum.
We've been recording some new songs just before Christmas. We recorded 5 new songs, but I don't know if they're good enough really. Because like for every song that we release, we record about 3. Because I'm very fussy about what we do. Well, I always like the group to do something that's different. It's different to us and that makes me feel excited. And I haven't really reached that point yet.
Estuvimos grabando 5 nuevas canciones antes de Navidad, pero no me gustaron mucho. Por cada canción que emitimos grabamos 3 porque somos exigentes en lo que hacemos y siempre he querido que el grupo haga cosas diferentes. Eso me gusta y me emociona. ¿Quién escribe las letras?
Really? And are you happy with the lyrics?
¿Y estás contento con las letras?
Yes, with the news. No, why no? It's strange.
Why not? That's too difficult to answer. Just because they're not as good as they could be.
Why don't you stop the whole project until you?
Well, we did. Yeah. That's why we're not in the studio. The Cure works in a very funny way. We don't really plan things ahead of. They just happen. It's very haphazard. So if I sort of suddenly think to myself, I've got a really good idea for a song, then we get together and we record it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. I don't sort of think, oh no, this is really terrible. I never worry about whether we're going to make another record. I never have. If it happens, I'll be really pleased. But if it doesn't, there's nothing I can do about it. I've never been able to sit down and write a song, ever. I mean, most of the words are written either when I'm in the middle of the night when I'm in bed. I sort of wake up and I write something, or I'm very drunk and I don't remember writing it. So.
Yo, me dice, él escribe las letras. Le pregunto que si está feliz con ellas y me dice que no, que realmente no. Que eso es muy difícil de responder porque no son tan buenas como deberían. Entonces le digo yo, ¿por qué no detiene todo el proyecto? Y me dice, lo hicimos, es por ello que no estamos en el estudio. The Cure trabaja de un modo muy chistoso. No planeamos las cosas. Estas ocurren como se van dando. Es muy pausado. Si yo tengo una idea para hacer algo, nos reunimos y si no sale, no importa. Nunca me he preocupado por hacer un disco después del otro. Nunca lo he hecho. Si ocurre bien, si no, ni modo. Jamás me he sentado a escribir una canción. Todas las que he escrito han sido espontáneamente. A medianoche, en mi cama o cuando estoy muy borracho. ¿Qué es lo que The Cure disfruta más en sus giras? ¿Y qué es la importancia de hacerlas?
Well, through the years, I've really enjoyed touring because it can be, I don't know, it's an experience unlike any other, really. It veers from like the most horrible kind of experience when you're constantly having to, you're just living out of one bag for 3 months and you can never eat nice food and you always have to get up and get into a bus or get into an aeroplane or something. That's the side of it which is horrible. The kind of impermanence, constant travelling. But the good side of it is the concerts and meeting the people that you're actually there for, which is brilliant. That's the side of it that's unlike anything else. I mean, being on stage and when we're playing really well and the audience is really good, it's like, I mean, that's the part of it that I'll miss the most when we stop. It's that. Unfortunately, as I get older, touring becomes more difficult.
A través de los años he aprendido a disfrutar las giras. Es una experiencia única. Te llevas una sola maleta para 3 meses y no puedes comer buena comida y tienes que abordar un camión para salir después en un avión. Ese es el lado insoportable, los viajes constantes. El lado bueno son los conciertos y la gente que conoces. Eso no se parece a nada. Cuando estamos en el escenario y tocamos bien de verdad, eso es lo que más me gusta. Desafortunadamente, conforme me voy haciendo más viejo, me cuesta más trabajo el estar de gira.
How old are you?
¿Cuántos años tienes?
No, you're not old.
I am.
No.
I am.
You look like 24.
Yeah, but I feel like 120 though. No, whenever we've been on tour through the years, we've unfortunately been a group that has tried to live to an extreme. We try and experience as much as possible, and that includes doing things which we shouldn't do, really. And when we're all together, we're like school children, and we egg each other on all the time, and we don't sleep enough, and we do too many bad things. And if we're on tour for any period of time, I end up getting really ill. I sort of like wandered back with a constant headache, and so as I've got older, I find it more and more difficult to recover physically, and also mentally as well, because as the group gets more popular, there are more people around us, and it's, I don't know, it's one of the parts, like when you wake up, so like today, I woke up, strangely enough, and if we had to go to, I don't know, New York or something, I'd have to go downstairs, and if we were in a foreign country, there would be people in reception who'd all want to talk to you or take photographs and stuff. And if that goes on for like week after week after week, you end up, it affects you mentally. And I really don't like what I turn into. I become, like at the start of the conversation, I was talking about people who act like pop stars, and I start to become like that. I start to believe that I'm more important than I actually am. And I do horrible things and I become a horrible person. And it's not worth it, I don't think. So, having said all that though, I do miss not playing concerts, because it's really good fun. But like we played concerts through last summer, and we did about, I think, 15 concerts, but we didn't go on tour. We went away and we played 3 concerts and then we came home, which is, I don't know, it was pretty stupid really, because there was more travelling than there had to be. But I don't know, it's a difficult subject really, because the others in the group all want us to tour. They really love touring, and it's only me that holds us back. If it wasn't for me, we'd have played in Mexico for at least more fun.
Me dice que tiene 31 años. Le digo, yo no eres tan grande, pareces como de 24. Pero me dice él, pero me siento como de 120. Siempre que hemos estado de gira, hemos sido un grupo que ha querido vivir hasta el extremo lo más posible. Y eso incluye el hacer cosas que no deberíamos de hacer. Y cuando estábamos juntos en la escuela hacíamos muchas cosas malas. Eso ocurre cuando estamos de gira. Mi mente termina verdaderamente enferma, con dolores de cabeza. Y al crecer cuesta más trabajo recuperarse física y mentalmente, porque el grupo se populariza más y más gente nos rodea. Si estamos en un país extranjero y al bajar te empiezan a tomar fotos, y eso ocurre cada semana tras semana, eso te afecta mentalmente. No me gusta en lo que me he convertido, en una estrella pop. He comenzado a creer que soy más importante de lo que en realidad soy. Y hago cosas horribles y me convierto en una persona horrible. No vale la pena. Extraño el no dar conciertos. El verano pasado dimos 15 conciertos, pero no estuvimos de gira. Dimos los conciertos y regresamos a casa. Estamos viajando mucho y a todos los demás en el grupo les encanta viajar. Si hubiera sido por mí, ya hubiéramos tocado en México.
Why can't I be you?
qué grado The Cure ha cambiado su imagen? Lo que quiero saber es acerca de las etapas por las que el grupo ha pasado a través de los años.
The way we look.
Yes.
It's become important, I suppose, the way that we look, but only to other people. Because it's like, if you're in a group and you're in a group for any length of time, that group develops an image, because it has to. I mean, everyone has an image. I mean, you have the same as I have, anyone has. I mean, I look like I look in real life, not just because I'm in a group.
Yes.
I mean, I feel more comfortable with my hair like this because it gives me confidence, but from time to time I cut all my hair off and I shave my head, and that makes me feel a different way. So I do it not to affect other people, I actually do it to affect myself, the way I look. I mean, I wear a lot of makeup sometimes, I wear no makeup other times, depending on how I feel. But basically, I mean, being really honest, there's vanity involved, because like, people, you want to look as good as you can.
Yes.
But there's also an element of it being, when I wear makeup, I do it because I wear it, it makes me feel different. It's like war paint. When I'm not wearing makeup, my attitude is different. When I put lots of makeup on, I sort of feel more, you know. So I do it for reasons to affect myself. But I don't think the actual image of the group is really that important. I hope it isn't that important. I mean, people try and look like us sometimes, which is very sweet. But it isn't really the point. I mean, like, people think of The Cure and they think of it superficially or instantly. They might think of what I look like or what Simon looks like. We look sort of similar. But then, I mean, Paul doesn't look like me. Boris doesn't look like me. I mean, he's got blonde sort of hair, and Paul's got like ringlets, and he wears like hippie clothes, you know. So it's a very confused group, really. We all just wear what we want, we look how we want. I've never said to anyone in the group, you've got to look like this. I think that would be awful. Actually, I have said that, but only because they wear such horrible clothes sometimes. But they never take any notice of me. They always ignore me. But I don't think things like image are important. I never have done, really. I think it's groups that try and create an image for themselves always look really stupid. You can always tell a group that's dressing up because they want to be noticed of it. I think.
Nuestra imagen, bueno, se ha convertido en algo importante para la gente, supongo yo. Pero cuando estás en un determinado grupo, ese grupo tiene que desarrollar una imagen porque tiene que hacerlo. Tú tienes imagen, yo tengo imagen. Yo me veo así en la vida real, no solo porque estoy en un grupo. Me siento más a gusto con mi pelo como está, pero en ocasiones me lo corto, no por darle gusto a la gente, sino por darme gusto a mí. Lo mismo ocurre con la ropa porque siempre quieres verte lo mejor que se pueda. El maquillaje que uso me hace sentir diferente, es como pintura de pared. Cuando no me maquillo, mi actitud es diferente, cuando me maquillo mucho también. No creo que la imagen del grupo sea tan importante, espero que no lo sea. La gente quiere verse como nosotros, y eso es algo muy dulce, pero no se trata de eso. La gente piensa acerca de The Cure instintivamente, de un modo superficial, y piensan en cómo me veo yo, o cómo se ve Simon, ya que somos muy similares. Paul no se ve como yo, Barry tiene el pelo rubio, y Paul usa un arete, y viste como hippie. Es un grupo muy confuso, cada quien se viste como quiere. Jamás le he dicho a nadie del grupo que se vista de una manera determinada, eso sería horrible. No creo que la imagen sea lo importante. Grupos que intentan crearse una imagen sobre sí mismos siempre se ven estúpidos. Háblanos acerca de los cambios que han existido en el grupo, de la gente que ha entrado y ha salido.
Well, there's been 6 other people in the group. There's 5 in the group at the moment. And there have been 6 people who have come in and gone out, and for varying reasons. That's not. It seems a lot, but it's not really, because that's like over 13 years. So it's only one every 2 years. That's not bad, considering how difficult I can be to work with. But Michael, who was in the group right at the very beginning, left because he didn't really like the direction that we were going. And Matthew, who played keyboards with the group around 17 Seconds album, he left because he was very difficult to get on with. He was the only person I've ever met that's more difficult than me to get on with. And we weren't very good friends. I really liked him when he wasn't in the group.
Han estado otras 6 personas dentro del grupo. Por el momento somos 5. Y esas 6 han entrado y han salido por varias razones. Parece mucho, pero no es así, ya que han pasado 13 años y es una persona por cada 2 años. No está mal considerando lo difícil que es el trabajo. Michael, quien estaba en el grupo desde un principio, se salió porque no le gustó la dirección que estábamos tomando. Y Matthew, quien tocó los teclados para el grupo en el LP 17 Seconds, se fue porque era muy difícil. Es la persona con la cual me ha costado más trabajo convivir después de mí. Y fuimos muy buenos amigos. Me caía bien, pero cuando no estaba en el grupo. ¿Qué opinas acerca de las leyendas del rock? Gente como McCartney, Mick Jagger, los Rolling Stones.
What do I think about them? I don't really think about things like that, unless you ask me. So I'll have to formulate an opinion. I suppose my sort of instant reaction is that I dislike them, most of them, because most of them are not growing old gracefully. They seem to lack a certain dignity. But then I think to myself, well, maybe you don't need that dignity. There's some people that manage to do it. I think Neil Young is getting old, but he's really good still. He's sort of like got that kind of fire. And I think, I'm trying to think of someone else. I'll do it. I don't know, possibly, no, I can't think of anyone else.
No.
Well, I mean, anyone that I think of, that I was thinking of David Bowie, but I don't think he's done anything good for years. And the same with Paul McCartney, really. I don't think he's done anything good. I don't think he's done anything good for years. I think they're all past their peak, and because they've become semi-legendary, they're allowed to get away with absolutely dreadful music a lot of the time. I don't know, I remember going to see David Bowie in 1973, thinking that he might give up soon, and I'd better go and see him while he was still around. I think, good grief, you know, but 18 years later, he's still doing it. But I don't know really what I actually think about the legends. I don't actually think they are really legends. They're just like people who've been doing it a long time. I'm really unclear about it because I don't really know if I mean, I don't think I'll be doing this in another 5 years. I hope I'm not. I really wouldn't want to. I'd still like to be making music, but I wouldn't have to keep worrying about having to shave and,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, that side of things. But I thought that the Rolling Stones thing, it's grotesque in a way. It's so big. I mean, like when we went to America last year, we played Dodger Stadium and Giant Stadium, and it was horrible. I would never play places that big again. I mean, it sort of defeats the whole point of playing a concert. There's absolutely no communication. All you're doing is that the audience is just sitting there at an event, and they're just like just so that they can say, I went to see the Rolling Stones. It doesn't seem much point really. There's no soul involved in it, and they seem to have lost that. It's just like making money and trying to prove who's the most successful person in rock and roll, which is all a bit boring really. If they make good music, you can understand it, but I don't even like the music, so maybe if I liked the music I'd feel differently about it. I can understand, you know, I can appreciate that people do still like the music. I don't understand why though. But, you know, I mean, Paul McCartney's, I suppose, out of all of them, he's probably written some of the best songs, but even he doesn't seem to have written a good song for years.
No pienso acerca de cosas así a menos de que me lo preguntes, así que debo formarme una opinión. Creo que mi respuesta sería que me disgusta la mayoría, de que no están envejeciendo con gracia, están perdiendo dignidad. Tal vez no lo necesitan, pero hay gente como Neil Young que ha sabido sobrellevar las cosas. Está envejeciendo, pero aún tiene ese fuego. No puedo pensar en nadie más. Pienso en David Bowie, pero no ha hecho nada bueno en años, y lo mismo ocurre con Paul McCartney. Creo que ya ha pasado su época y se han convertido en semi-legendarios. Recuerdo cuando en 1973 David Bowie dijo que se iba a retirar, pero 18 años después sigue viviendo. No creo que sean leyendas, sino que son personas que han durado mucho tiempo. A mí no me gustaría estar haciendo lo mismo dentro de 5 años. No me gustaría estarme preocupando por afeitarme. Lo que hacen los Rolling Stones es algo grotesco, muy grande. Cuando fuimos a Norteamérica el año pasado, tocamos en el estadio de los Dodgers y en el de los Gigantes. Y fue horrible. Jamás volvería a tocar en lugares tan grandes. No hay comunicación. Es tan solo para que la gente diga, yo fui a ver a los Rolling Stones. Se trata de hacer dinero y de ver quién es mejor en el rock and roll. Si se tratara de la música lo podría entender, pero ni siquiera me gusta. Aprecio que otra gente haga música, pero no entiendo lo que hacen. Paul McCartney, quien escribió muy buenas canciones, no ha hecho nada bueno en los últimos años. ¿Qué tan intelectuales son las letras de tus canciones? ¿Y cuál es el procedimiento normal para escribirlas?
Intellectual. They veer from the very intellectual to the completely stupid. I take a lot of time and trouble over the words and trying to get them right, trying to make them say more than one thing. I always try and have when I write a song, for it to have more than one level. I haven't written a song for years. It infuriates me that people can get away with writing absolute nonsense. They just, you know, but they do an awful lot of the time. But I wouldn't say they're particularly intellectual. I mean, when I was younger, I really wanted to be an author. I thought that would be my dream ambition, would be to write books. Then, as I got a bit older, I realised that it's a very, very solitary and very painful existence, I think, being a writer. And that sort of gave me a get out, really. I also realised I wasn't good enough to be a writer, which was a bit of a blow. But I mean, my favourite pastime, one of my favourite pastimes, is reading. So when I compare the words like The Cure songs to some of the books that I really admire, to some of the authors that I really admire, I realise that our words aren't intellectual at all. But it's not really the most important thing. I think writing words for a song, you just have to worry about communicating a certain emotion. That's what I worry about. So in a sense, intellectualism doesn't really come into it, because some of the best words I think that I've written are very simple, so very direct. So I think you can be too clever when you're writing songs. So, and some words are impossible to sing. You know, the words that might communicate exactly what you want. Like I've always found it very difficult to sing the word beautiful. Even to say the word beautiful, I find it's just, I say it different ways, beautiful or beautiful. But when I'm trying to sing it, it just doesn't sound right. So I've only ever used it once in a song. But I would like to use it all the time, but I'd listen to it and I sort of think, oh no, that doesn't sound right. So there's a lot more goes into writing the words than just like thinking like what rhymes with what.
Son tan intelectuales que son completamente estúpidas. Me toma mucho tiempo escribir el mensaje correcto de las letras, intentar expresar lo que pienso. Cuando escribo una canción, espero que se entienda en más de un nivel, intentar hacer que digan más de una cosa. No quiero que la gente se quede sin entender nada, pero a menudo me sucede, y no diría que son las letras intelectuales. Cuando joven yo quería ser un autor, esa era mi ambición. Y conforme fui creciendo, comprendí que eso implica llevar una existencia muy dolorosa. Siempre quise ser un escritor, y uno de mis pasatiempos favoritos siempre ha sido leer. Así que cuando comparo las letras de The Cure con los autores que he leído, me doy cuenta que no son para nada intelectuales. Al escribir la letra de una canción, debes preocuparte por transmitir una emoción, y eso es lo que me preocupa. El ser intelectual no me importa, porque las mejores letras que he escrito son muy simples, muy directas. Siento que puedes ser muy explícito al escribir las canciones. Puedes hacer que las letras digan exactamente lo que quieres. Siempre me ha resultado difícil cantar y pronunciar la palabra beautiful. Y el intentar cantarla no sale bien, pero no me fijo mucho en las rimas. Hablando acerca de los planes futuros del grupo, ¿está en su itinerario viajar a México o a Latinoamérica?
Well, everyone wants to go back to North America, everyone in the group. So I suppose we'll go there. So if we go to America, I would expect that we'll go to Mexico. I really don't understand why we haven't been to Mexico.
So do I.
Well, no one's ever told us that anyone likes us in Mexico.
Yeah, you have a lot of fans there.
But until I got this...
You will be surprised. If you go and do a concert in Mexico City, you will be surprised.
Until I got this letter...
Because the people like you, really like the group a lot.
About a week ago, I got a letter saying that how many records we sold in Mexico, and I thought it was a mistake because it said something like 42,000. I was thinking, but no one likes us in Mexico.
No, of course not.
Todos en el grupo quieren regresar a Norteamérica, así que supongo que iremos. Si vamos a América, estoy seguro que estaremos en México. De verdad no entiendo por qué no hemos estado en México. Nadie nos ha dicho que gustamos en México. Yo le digo, claro que sí, tienen muchos admiradores en México. Si se presentan en un concierto en la Ciudad de México, se sorprenderán, porque a la gente les gustan mucho allá. Y me dice, hace como una semana recibí una carta reportándome los discos que habíamos vendido en México. Y yo pensé que era un error, ya que eran como 43,000. Y pensé que no gustábamos en México. Después de todos estos años, ¿qué es lo que consideras que ha sido lo más importante que le ha ocurrido al grupo?
One thing that's happened to the group. Oh dear. I don't think there has been just one thing. I think the constant process has. There isn't really one particular instance that I can think of that has any more importance than anything else, really. I suppose when whenever we finish an album and we all gather around and listen to when it's just been finished, and we listen to it as a whole for the first time. Each time that happens within the group, and I suppose and every time we're on stage and we're playing well, it's as important as any other moment. Things don't happen like that, really. That's a kind of a fake convenience if I started to pretending that there were certain moments, because life isn't like that, is it? It just sort of goes on and on. I mean, I suppose, like you always think it's like Christmas. You look back on it and it's never really as important as you think it is. I don't know. There have been lots of Christmases in what we've done.
Oh, Dios, no puedo pensar en una sola cosa en particular que tenga más importancia sobre las demás. Creo que cuando terminamos un disco y nos juntamos a escucharlo por completo por primera vez, ya terminado, ese es un momento especial dentro del grupo. Y cada vez que estamos en el escenario tocando bien, eso es importante también. Sería una falsa conveniencia si te hablara de ciertos momentos. Es como en Navidad, que es un momento especial. Han habido muchas navidades en lo que hemos hecho. Háblanos acerca de Cure FM. Y oí algo acerca de ello.
A radio station.
Yes. Was it good?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Well, we did it, the first night that we did it, it was a disaster because we tried to do it from the top of Fiction Records building with our own aerial and stuff, and it didn't work. No one could hear it, and we all got terribly drunk and no one could speak. So when it eventually went on to, we managed to get through onto the air. There was no one in the group that could even talk, so it was a bit of a disaster. So we set up another one for about 2 weeks later. This was like just towards the end of last year, and we did that one from. There's a radio station in London that broadcasts each weekend called 102, which is a pirate station, and we just asked them if we could take over for one night, and they let us take over on a Saturday night, and that was brilliant. It was, and everyone could hear us that night. And we had a phone, and people phoned in, and we just, we didn't get quite as drunk, so we were able to talk. It was really good fun, and I think we're going to do it again quite often, I think. It's, I didn't realise how much fun it would be, actually, doing something like that, because like, we've done other things on the radio, like just done interviews, or we've turned up and played, you know, like 2 or 3 of our favourite songs, but actually to have a whole night of playing music and talking to people, it was a really good experience. It was, but we weren't very professional about it. But people seem to enjoy it, you know, the people that listened.
Nuestra estación de radio, bueno, la primera vez que intentamos hacerlo fue todo un desastre, ya que tratamos desde lo alto del edificio de Fiction Records y no funcionó, ya que todo el mundo estaba borracho y intentamos entrar al aire, pero nadie del grupo podía hablar. Fue realmente un desastre. Después de 2 semanas, justo al final del año, conseguimos hacerlo a través de una estación pirata de Londres que se llama 102. Y les pedimos que si podíamos transmitir por ellos y nos lo permitieron. Fue brillante y toda la gente nos escuchó. Nos divertimos, la gente se divirtió y no nos pusimos tan borrachos. Lo haríamos de nuevo y más a menudo. Tuvimos una noche muy buena en la que tocamos nuestras canciones favoritas. No fuimos muy profesionales, pero creo que a la gente le gustó. Bueno, como te dije antes, en mi país tienes una asombrosa cantidad de admiradores. ¿Existe algún mensaje que quieras enviarles?
I just hope that we come and play in Mexico, really, because it's as good as you say it is.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they just better start learning all the words and so they can sing along.
Bueno, tan solo espero que podamos ir a tocar a México, si es tan bueno como tú dices, y que pues se aprendan las canciones para que las canten con nosotros.
Why Can't I Be You?